Now, Soledar and Bakhmut in Ukraine are witnessing heavy fighting and widespread damage as Russia intensifies its assault over the two cities. Ukraine has said that its forces are still holding on to its positioning and heavy fighting. Earlier, the British Defence Ministry had said that Russian troops and Wagner Group mercenaries had probably taken control of most of the areas in Soledar. If Russia manages to seize either of the two cities, it would be a significant victory for Moscow after humiliating battlefield setbacks over the last few months. But Ukraine claims they are still holding ground, withstanding brutal assaults by Russian forces as well as mercenaries. Here's a report for more details.
Ukrainian servicemen fired anti-aircraft guns at Russian positions on Tuesday near Bakhmut. The city is located on a strategic supply line between the Donetsk and Luhansk regions, which make up the Donbas, Ukraine's industrial heartland. Gaining control of Bakhmut could give Russia a platform to advance on two bigger cities, Kramatorsk and Sloviansk. It would also be a welcome battlefield victory for President Vladimir Putin after a series of setbacks in recent months. Kyiv said on Tuesday that its troops are facing waves of assaults by Russian forces on a small salt mining town of Soledar. And seizing Soledar would give an advantage to Russian forces as they hope to capture Bakhmut, only a few miles to the southwest. Sergei Chirivati, a spokesperson for Ukraine's eastern forces, said the Russians were deploying their best Wagner fighters at Soledar, which had been struck 86 times by artillery over the past 24 hours. Britain's defence ministry said Russian troops and Wagner fighters were probably now in control of most of the town after advances in the last 4 days. But in his nightly video address on Monday, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said Bakhmut and Soledar were holding on despite widespread destruction. Reuters could not verify the battlefield reports. Meanwhile, 2 British voluntary workers have gone missing after they left the city of Kramatorsk for Soledar on Friday morning, according to Ukrainian police. Authorities said on Monday they were now looking for them. NATO Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg on Tuesday said Russia was mobilizing more troops for the war in Ukraine and should not be underestimated.
And there is no indication that President Putin has changed the overall aim of his brutal war against Ukraine. So we need to be prepared for the long haul.
That as Russia's defense ministry released footage of a warship armed with hypersonic cruise weapons holding exercises in the Norwegian Sea. Last week, Putin sent the frigate to the Atlantic Ocean armed with new generation missiles in a signal to the West that Russia will not back down over what it calls its special military operation.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.